Hello and welcome to HPE Discover Barcelona 2025. My name is Matt Ball, Senior Director for Product Marketing for HPE Software. I'm here joined with Varma Kunaparaju, SVP and GM, Cloud Ops Software and Platform. Varma, welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you, Matt, again.
Good to see you again. You've been in the industry for a while now. You've seen it evolve. Talk about the need today for a cloud operating model.
So if you look at the enterprises and their journey in the last decade, their workloads are distributed more than ever before. What used to be an on-prem infrastructures to run the applications now move to hyperscalers, in some cases in private clouds, and distributed across the entire infrastructure. What we mean by a cloud operating model for an enterprise IT is being able to give a cloud-like experience for the business units when the business units come and ask them to spin their infrastructure, to bring up their workloads and applications. In the modern IT world, bringing those applications and infrastructures really call for a choice of infrastructure underneath and a choice of runtime. It could be virtualized, it could be containerized, it could be running on bare metal, and then there is application stacks on top of it. So what we mean by a cloud operating model is bringing this concept of giving cloud kind of an experience across the full infrastructure stack for enterprises to be able to spin up the workloads at the convenience of provisioning and orchestration and observability and automation, bringing all of that just like a public cloud hyperscaler application workloads come.
Yeah, very good. And you mentioned all of these environments, and there's lots to juggle for those heads of infrastructure and operations. There's runtimes, hypervisors, storage components, infrastructure components. Tell us how HPE is helping them pull all of this together.
It's a very good question. So HPE took the journey of creating this GreenLake platform to deliver infrastructure as a service, organic investment of a large software development initiative that really brings one platform for provisioning and orchestration and giving all the cloud kind of an experience for infrastructure delivered as a service for a long time. On top of that, organic investment on the GreenLake platform, there's a number of acquisitions that HPE did in the form of, Morpheus for bringing hypervisor runtime of choice and being able to give provisioning and orchestration and automation for workloads, and then observability in the form of OpsRamp. So all of that software stack, bringing that software stack as an integrated stack for enterprises either consume on top of GreenLake platform or independently leverage some of these platform pieces and components of the software pieces for giving internal service provider kind of an experience is what the cloud ops software that we are bringing to end enterprises today.
Very good. So we bring together a lot of things to support customers' environments. But how do we then help our customers assess those environments?
Good question. If you look at the enterprises workload assessments, you need to understand what those workloads and what hypervisors that they are running on, what their capacity, what their optimizations that one could do. So we have a technology that called Cloud Physics, which is an assessment tool, which basically goes and understands the workload and workload utilization on either on-prem or in a private environment, so that assessment can result in either bringing that workload in an optimized manner in a new hypervisor of choice, or moving it to the cloud, right? So that assessment technology consists of two pieces: a discovery of all that end customer's environment with OpsRamp's collector that we provide to go and discover all the environment from on-prem to cloud, discovery of all the assets, and then assessment in the form of Cloud Physics. Combine those two pieces in the form of Cloud Physics Plus that we bring will allow the enterprises to go and discover those assets, understand their utilization, so that the workloads can be placed optimally wherever they need to be placed.
Very good. It seems like we got a lot going on, from the backbone for GreenLake, on down the line. Talk about specifically the Cloud Ops suite. What should we know about the context there?
Yeah. So the platform, along with these software pieces that we brought together to give a cloud operating model, consists of three different pieces. One is being able to kind of give a hypervisor and hypervisor of choice, and then provisioning and orchestration and automation of those virtual machines. That's the Morpheus piece. And then observability, full stack observability from infrastructure all the way to the application in the form of OpsRamp. And then being able to give protection with Zerto. Those three software pieces together, we are offering it as a Cloud Ops suite, which we announced.
Very, very good. Specific to observability, we've seen enterprises time and time again for years invest heavily in observability. There's market leaders, but the same problems we still hear exist. We have noisy environments, we have high costs, and we have poor ROI in our observability investments. How is HPE set up to change that story?
Yeah. If you look at the observability market, it started with infrastructure monitoring tools about 5-6 years ago. Pure play, those monitoring tools are specifically designed for monitoring the network, monitoring the on-prem data center footprints and things like that. There are a lot of monitoring tools in an enterprise today, right? Then there is observability tools, which came in the context of cloud native workloads, where the focus was more around metrics, logs, and traces, bringing the application instrumentation to give observability. Then there is a third set of tools, which is, hey, throw us all the alerts coming from either your on-prem infrastructure monitoring tools or cloud native tools, and we will somehow correlate them and bring so-called AI ops to give a signal out of a bunch of noise, right? So what happened in the enterprise is there are these points of silos, one tool set for infrastructure, one tool set for cloud native applications, another tool set for potentially bringing all of that together. So in the case of OpsRamp, we took a different approach. We thought, unless you understand the topology and understand the infrastructure all the way to the application and being able to instrument all of that, and the instrumentation can be native, could be based on OpenTelemetry and third-party instrumentation, but being able to understand the topology and give that full context of observability along with AI ops for being able to kind of find a probable root cause is very, very important in our mind. And that is what the new integrated observability stacks really called for an enterprise, so that there is no three command centers, one for on-prem, one for cloud, one for processing the alerts and figuring out what the root cause is. So being able to bring all of that in one integrated command center is what enterprises are looking for.
Yeah, and did you want to go deeper on HPE's unique value? Multi-cloud, I've heard, multi-domain, multi-vendor, AI, and agentic. Any comments there?
Yeah. It's a very important point. No enterprise IT environment is homogeneous. There is multiple vendors in the infrastructure. Could be HPE, could be non-HPE in that environment, right? Networking, storage, compute in the on-prem data centers. But infrastructure is not just application running footprint, but also the consumers of that applications, which are in the edge locations. If you are a retail customer, you have a retail enterprise, you have retail stores, and there is footprint in the edge at the retail store locations, right? So being able to kind of really bring this entire footprint of infrastructure, not just application footprint, but the consumption of that application footprint at the end customers, end users environment, plays a very important role in figuring out what that observability really means, and bringing all of that in the context of an application or a business service is super critical for determining the uptime and consumption needs for an end user who is using those applications.
That's
very
good.
Core differentiation, because you need to support multi-vendor, multi-cloud in creating a context for an application.
Very good. So last words to what do you tell enterprises who use some of those existing solutions in virtualization or in observability? What would you say?
Well, I would say, no enterprise will entirely rip and replace entire stacks of observability tools, entire stacks of, hypervisors and runtimes that they have. But in the context of AI native, cloud native applications coming in, the journey of an enterprise modernization needs to tiptoe into looking at alternatives. There may be some workloads that are much more fine-tuned to use HPE's VM essentials, which we launched. And then there is observability tools where we can go integrate to consolidate as opposed to ripping and replace, while bringing that command center to give digital operations experience on the applications that the customer is consuming from infrastructure. So being able to kind of take this journey with our Cloud Ops suite, where you have flexibility to consume either hypervisor or consume the orchestration or consume the observability or the protection software that we bring, being able to kind of give that flexibility with cloud commit model that we announced, where it's just like a hyperscaler's cloud commit models. You can commit to a 3-year period, consumption of licenses, and then you have the flexibility to use however much you wanted to use is the flexibility that we bring. So take the journey and tiptoe into looking at our software suite for modernizing your entire IT environment.
Very good. Varma, thanks for your time today. We have a lot more cooking up in 2025 and into 26. Stay tuned.